Hello my family! Don't forget guys to subscribe if you're new to this channel. So guys, it is your boy Magallium back again with another YouTube video. So guys, this is a kind of new video and I just wanted to get this out in the open. So recently I saw this video on YouTube about people breaking up in an actual relationship. So I wanted to show you guys this actual video I found on YouTube, which I thought was quite appealing. So yeah, I want to show you guys it. Let's just crack on. Let's watch this video.
Is it just me, or has it been breakup season lately? Ew. There never really seems to be a good time to break up. You're probably in the middle of deciding on when to break things off right now, but something's delaying it. Whether it's a concert you two planned on going to for a while, but it would be too much trouble to resell the tickets, or you're being considerate and waiting until exams are over so it won't affect your studies. But the reality is, there's never a good time. It's not some 9 a.m. appointment you can schedule next month. You do it soon, or you do it later. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets to do it. I consider one of the poorest ways of breaking up is acting like an asshole, so you force them to break up with you instead, because you're too much of a coward to get your hands a little dirty. You manipulate the situation so that you become the dumpy instead.
This is interesting.
You become the victim, making them the villain. What this does is it allows you to gain the sympathy of others who don't fully know the story from both perspectives or true reasoning of the breakup, and that sympathy helps you justify this ugly method of ending a relationship. This is how grudges are born, man. So how do you do it? How do you just tell someone, you know what, Cindy? I don't think I want to do this anymore. I mean, you could. Best case scenario is they mutually agree with you, and it's a clean transaction. You both admit you don't see things eye to eye, you don't have the same sense of humor, her father is racist, or you're just staying together for the sake of being in a relationship and not because you're actually in love with each other. But let's say you two aren't on the same page. It's way more difficult to convince the other party to comply with your decision. While my past video, You Should Probably Break Up, focused on the red flags in a relationship, I want to talk more about the inevitability of some relationships ending. These are the couples whose red flags they chose to ignore in the beginning, or partners who've just matured separately and have become different people, proving to be incompatible with each other. Things aren't always in our control, and that holds true for people's mindsets when being in a relationship. Most people don't really plan ahead when starting their commitment to a person. They don't usually decide right away that, yes, this person right here will be my fully committed partner for all eternity, including future incarnations. No, you kind of just date people to discover what kind of people you're compatible with, and when you find out you're not, what's the solution? You break up. A lot of people who have fallen out of love and remain in their relationships choose to stay because, to put it simply, it's comfy. There isn't really a catalyst for a breakup, no one cheated on anyone, it's just been a slow burn over the years about little things that added up. But you've invested all this time into each other's lives that it's just too much trouble to cut ties and deal with the aftermath. You live with each other, so how do you decide who moves out? Who keeps the dog? Your friends and family have known you two to be inseparable, so it seems beyond impossible.
It's kind of funny, but it's true at the same time. Like,
it's just so much pressure. It seems like a lot of work, but know that it's even more work to maintain a disingenuous relationship. Best case scenario, you can stay friends. You just gotta convince the next person you're dating that you're still living with your ex and they have nothing to worry about. If you're gonna break things off with someone, do their next partner a favor by doing your ex a favor, and be clear about the reasons why you're breaking up with them. Just because you're done with them doesn't mean the world is. All relationships are learning experiences, and it's so common for exes to emotionally scar each other so deeply that they're incapable of opening their doors to anyone new. Sometimes it can be really difficult to have a blank slate with new relationships, I get it, and old habits tend to carry over from the previous. But if we're supposed to learn from our mistakes, then we deserve to know what they are, even if we don't initially agree with them. You guys remember my fourth breakup story about how we ended really abruptly when I was convinced that everything was good and dandy, but they weren't. The breakup came out of nowhere, there was no discussion about it, her decision was made, and I had no choice but to respect it. and so my self-esteem plummeted. I tried to appear okay on the outside, but I was really broken inside. I had this looming cloud of sadness for my whole final year of university. It was so distracting that I almost hoped that she just admitted to cheating on me because I was convinced that it's much easier to move on from someone when you hate them. But I didn't get an explanation. I was left wondering and didn't get closure. So I didn't know how to feel towards her and how to move on.
That happened
Kind
to
of
me
like
in February. I go with a girl and then she cheated on me.
Feel about the movie because
And
you didn't
that's
get the
basically how I felt
conclusion and
like.
you're left with unanswered questions. Was it a good movie? I don't know. Was it a good relationship? I don't know. Better late than never, Karen, or whatever name I gave her in the story, actually contacted me years later. Years after I made the video. It obviously caught me off guard, but I tried to handle the conversation maturely. She apologized for what she put me through and admitted that the breakup was handled very poorly. She was young and didn't know what to do at the time. We talked for a bit, and I finally got my explanation. I got my closure. I really didn't care too much about the details of the explanation. I already spent years after the breakup theorizing what it could be, that it wasn't all that surprising. I just really respected her maturity in approaching me about her situation, something that was way in the past and kind of unnecessary for her to do because of the time that's passed. I wanted to hear it directly from her, instead of from my thoughts, and I greatly appreciate that she did. No, we're not friends again. She made it clear that the purpose of the conversation was simply to give me the explanation that I deserved. It wasn't a rekindling of a friendship, and weirdly enough, I was okay with it. Not at first, but it made sense to me afterwards. We became strangers again, and it wasn't sad. The common problem with most failed relationships is that both parties usually have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They have a raging amount of passion going into it, and they expect the relationship to match their fantasies, and they handle it poorly when it doesn't. The majority of us aren't lucky enough to find our soulmate right away on the first try. The majority of us have exes, some more than others.
Oh, damn.
And the fact that exes exist means that most relationships fail. Oh man, that's a sad fact. And a lot of us have definitely not been properly equipped to maturely handle breakups when we were young. I'm not saying to be ready for a breakup when getting into a relationship. That's kind of messed up. It's kind of pessimistic. Just try to develop the empathy and a level head for dealing with problems when they arise. It's real easy to make decisions fueled by emotion, and it's very often that they lead to undesired outcomes. I like to think that if you use emotions as fuel, it's kind of like driving a car that you can't steer. Good luck with that. No one likes going through a breakup, but it's something we all gotta learn how to deal with. Thank you for listening to my PSA. I'm sorry if your partner breaks up with you later tonight.
So guys, that is that video. And all I'm trying to say to you guys, if you're in a relationship, make sure you both keep keep a distance, like give each other some space, because I can tell you now that everyone needs space when I'm in a relationship, because if you both get too close, you'll start arguing more maybe, you know what I'm saying? So that's just some guidance for you guys. Also, make sure that you are both compatible and you're both on the same page, because for me, right, when I met Victoria, I know she's watching this right now, okay, literally me and her, we met up for the first time, I think it was nearly 2 weeks ago, and literally we both got on so well, and we've got the same banter, we're funny, fuck's sake, and like I say, compatible. If you're not compatible, then it's not going to work out, because one's going to be different to the other. One is going to be completely different. And for you guys to actually be together, forever maybe, you both have to be on the same wavelength. And just all I can give you guidance on is make sure you both are truthful to each other. So me and Vicky, we're truthful to each other. We tell each other what they like, what we don't like, and all that lot. And at the start of our relationship, I actually told her we're ready to settle. Settle once our actual relationship's gonna last. No shit, short term shit. We're really for the long run, you know what I mean? So that's when the Mad family, fingers crossed, the Mad family will be on compatible, shall I say. But who knows, you guys? Who knows what the future can hold for the Mad family? The name could be Mad Family if we have our own kids. So it's gonna be quite mad, you know. Own house, traveling together, kids. God help me being a dad. Sure, for me, last thing is to just make sure you both are like focusing for the future, so then you both know what you want in the future, and then it's basically like a goal. So a relationship goal. Everyone has relationship goals. My goal is to actually like get a house, be financially stable, and to have a family with Victoria. Come on, boys. So yeah, like I say at the end of my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to join the Mad family. And if you're new around here, you know what I'm saying, hit that like button and then you turn on a post notification for a post notification shout out. Until next video, guys, peace.